Hello and welcome to Cinematrophy. I'm Don Perignon, saving you from getting ripped off. Now this is a story all about how his life got turned upside down, and if you'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how he became part of the worst movie of last year.
In West Hollywood, he was born and raised on the movie sets where he spent most of his days chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. Usually watch his dad act like a fool when a couple of guys with cheap suits and bad wigs said to him, "Kid, you can make it big." He did a movie with his dad and it became clear this was a huge money-making idea. His dad wrote a story in which his son would star, thinking it would push the boy's career real far. And everybody thought that it would be the bomb until they found out the director was M. Night Shyamalan. When the movie debuted, critics all agreed it was a Shyamalan movie to the worst degree. And the young man's eyes filled with tears as he cried out, "Shyamalan, you ruined my career!"
Okay, big boy. We all in? All right. Yeah, making my money out in this whole baby. What the?
All bets! Oh! That's wrong! Oh! That's wrong! What the fuck did you think? What the hell I was going to do? Every time I stand in front of you! So you thought of disrespect? How far can you take that bullshit? Now it's time you get this shit on! Oh! That's wrong! Oh! That's wrong! Oh! That's wrong! Oh! That's wrong! All bets are off!
So the movie starts out with Will and Jaden Smith in some sort of crisis when Will is sucked out of the ship. Jeez, that was a shorter screen time than Steven Seagal in Executive Decision. We then see Jaden lying on the ground, and in case you think these two scenes are connected to one another, this is a Shyamalan movie, which means the two scenes are just as connected to one another as the priest was connected to the elevator in Devil.
The founding of the United Ranger Corps 1,000 years ago was a global military effort.
Oh dear Lord. I need a minute. What accent is that?
English, Scottish, Indianan? He sounds like an English Cartman.
The Rangers would lead the settlement of mankind's new home.
Clearly this is supposed to be a made-up accent, and clearly this is Shyamalan's idea.
I get the feeling that he really wanted to make up his own language with subtitles at the bottom throughout the entire movie, but was afraid people wouldn't see it if he did, so he just settled on the accent.
I guess he felt that people would find it hard to believe that everyone in the future spoke perfect English, even though English is the most dominant language on the planet. No, I'm sure that was just a little too far-fetched. I mean, it's not like there's ever been any highly successful movie or TV shows about the future where English was the dominant form of communication. Ass.
Jaden's narration continues, telling us that we fucked up the Earth so bad that we had to leave it and settle on a new planet.
But we were not alone. The aliens released the Ursa. Monsters.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you trespass on someone's fucking property.
Release the hound.
Monsters.
And what are they called? The Ursulas?
So their plan was to defeat us using annoying Disney musical numbers?
You poor unfortunate soul!
Bred to kill humans. Technically blind, the Ursa sees humans based on the pheromones we secrete when threatened. They literally smell our fear.
So let me get this straight. They designed monsters that can't see, can't hear, and can only smell our fear. That has got to be the stupidest idea I've ever heard. Who would design something like that? These have got to be the dumbest aliens in existence to give their war weapons the second biggest handicap in history. The first being designing them without any legs. That'd be like genetically engineering a dog with ectopic vision, but taking away his sense of hearing and smell. Who would do that? He can see through walls. Yeah, too bad he keeps running into the fucking thing.
You are correct. It does not compute.
Humankind was again in danger of extinction, and again turned to the Rangers for the answer. And that answer came in the form of the Prime Commander Cypher Rage.
I'm sorry, what?
Prime Commander Cypher Rage.
Excuse me.
Oh, I told her that obviously eating the gopher was a bad idea, but she insists it was okay because it's a delicacy. But she obviously got some sort of tape.
You went to bed.
Yes.
What was that about?
12 years ago, I bet him $1 he would one day use Cypher Rage in a sentence.
Oh, okay.
Really,
Was
Shyamalan?
again in danger
Cypher
of
Rage?
and again
Why didn't you just name him Invisible Anger or Ghost Fury or My Name is the literal translation of How I Kill My Enemies, because the director is M. Night Shyamalan and he has to compensate for his insecurities by trying to be clever even though you can clearly see right through it.
Free of fear
Yes,
that
that M. Night Shyamalan.
He's believed to be so completely free of fear that to an Ursa, he is invisible. This phenomena is known as ghosting.
Fuck you, movie.
We cut 3 days earlier where we see Jaden, whose name is... Okay, prepare yourselves for this one, people. His name is Katai, which is Old Greek for pure and torture.
Okay, there's symbolism and then it's just being fucking obnoxious.
Katai has passed all his written exams for Rangers with flying colors, but crumbles in the field and therefore cannot graduate. Well, looks like you're just gonna have to be a disappointment. Now get out of my office. I have a hooker coming by and I need to sterilize my desk. Cypher Rage, I can't believe I'm actually saying that in a sentence. Cypher Rage comes home showing all the emotion of... Oh, who am I kidding? Keanu Reeves shows more emotion than he does. Christ, you think he was an amnesia patient? Do I know you? At dinner, Katai tells his father that he didn't make Ranger, and his father takes it quite well, actually. In fact, it's Jayden who seems to have the problem with the whole thing.
If you were, he would have promoted you. You weren't ready.
I'm hungry. I'm going to my room.
Are you asking me or telling me?
May I go to my room, sir?
Denied! Sit down!
Did he just try to punish himself by sending himself to bed without dinner?
Apparently the roles are mixed up and everything is backwards in the future. That must make teen pregnancy talks really awkward.
Dad, I'm pregnant.
Oh. It'll be okay. I'll help you as best I can so you can finish school and...
No, it will not be okay. Do you know how many teenage parents actually get through school? God, how can I be so stupid? I'm going to my room.
What just happened?
Jesus, man, can't you even give a gift without looking like a cardboard cutout? He's supposed to be fearless, not emotionless. Can you imagine what his proposal was like?
I know I'm just a lonely soldier, but Will you marry me?
Yes. Yes!
I'm so happy.
Cypher tells her after his next mission, where he's going to be training some new troops, he's going to retire. Mrs. Rage.
So me and my boyfriend Derek were naked on top of the Empire State Building, about to go bungee jumping when... What was that about?
8 years ago, I found $5 that he was set up to use Mrs. Rage in a sentence one day.
Mrs. Rage suggests he takes Katai with him so they can bond not as officer and commander, but as father and son.
I have a bad feeling about this.
While on the transport ship, Katai wanders into the cargo bay where he discovers that they're transporting one of the Ursulas to be used for ghost training exercises.
Can you read? I said, can you read?
Yes, sir.
Well, there's a sign back there. Authorized personnel only. Why didn't you read that?
And if you didn't notice before, this is when you really start to notice that the major problem with having a made-up accent is not everyone can do it, let alone keep it up. This guy sounds Scottish, Mrs. Reyes sounds English and African, and Will and Jaden tend to lose their accents completely every now and then. Now I realize a good actor should be able to learn any accent, but that only works with an accent that exists, because then you have something to compare what you're doing to how it's supposed to sound. When the accent is made up in some guy's head, one I guarantee couldn't even do it himself, your actors are never going to be on the same page on how it's supposed to sound.
Which is why this is such a dumb idea.
Anyway, the Rangers here decide to see if Katai can ghost, where the audience finds out the reason he falls apart during combat training is because he saw his sister killed by an Ursula when he was a young boy.
Oh, come on, of course it's his sister. Do you really think he'd be this traumatized if it was simply his babysitter?
Meanwhile, on the other end of the ship, Cypher wakes up and detects a problem with it. Putting everyone on high alert, he goes to the cockpit.
I detected graviton vibrations in the hull.
But you detected how?
Graviton buildup could be a precursor to mass expansion. That storm could be on us in minutes.
But sir, mass expansion is 1 in a million.
So not only was he able to detect a problem out in space, but it was a 1 in a million type problem.
The force is strong in this way.
Of course, that 1 in a million chance happens and they get caught in the asteroid field. Cypher has them jump out of it, and because they had no time to put in guidance coordinates, they make a blind jump and end up at Earth, which has been labeled a level 1 quarantine planet.
Yeah, well, when people kept giving Asylum money to make films, this was inevitable.
Due to the damage sustained by the asteroid field, they have to land on Earth anyway to make repairs. Unfortunately, the ship sustained too much damage and starts breaking apart, causing Cypher to be sucked to the front of the ship.
Apparently the laws of physics are backwards too. That must make for some really weird roller coaster rides.
Jaden wakes and finds he has a hard time breathing without the mask because the ship's shower curtain won't close. After fixing it, he finds his dad at the front of the ship, much like Shyamalan's directing career, still alive but severely injured.
Only in this case, you want Will to make it.
It seems they're the only two who survived the crash, and the only hope for rescue is for Katai to get to the tail end of the ship lying 100 kilometers away and to get a device that will send out an emergency beacon.
I'm sure it's fine. It's only Earth. By the looks of things, his biggest problem is going to be that he won't be able to breathe, but I'm sure they'll find a way around that.
This is a Class 1 quarantined planet. Everything on this planet has evolved to kill humans.
Oh. Why the fuck did that happen?
Considering we fucked up the planet so badly, shouldn't all the animals be fucking dead? And if they survive, how could they evolve to kill something that was no longer a part of their environment? That is the key part of evolution, adapting to one's environment.
computer, think too much.
So he gives Katai some magic fluid to help him breathe, a magic staff, and tells him his suit is equipped with cameras and communications so his father can see and help guide him.
Well, I can't see anything going wrong with this plan. Did I mention the Ursula is loose?
So Katai is off, and I have to give it to a planet we completely fucked up. It looks pretty damn good.
Maybe the world's governments lied and just felt like relocating. I mean, if people are willing to believe that Georgia Snow isn't real, they're willing to believe anything.
Discovering he has a severed artery, Cypher debates on whether or not to take some painkillers, treating us to a flashback of him and his daughter talking about whales.
Did they really kill these whales?
We sent you for their oil, and they almost disappeared.
Meanwhile, in the deep jungles of the Congo, Katai's first encounter is with a baboon.
Monkey!
Rather than slowly backing away, he throws a rock at it, alerting IR Baboon's friends that there's a party going on and they're all invited.
Katai! Stand down!
Get away!
Katai!
After swimming across a river to escape the baboons, man, why couldn't they be chimps? I've got plenty of jokes for chimps. He's bitten by a leech that injects him with poison, so he has to take a Final Fantasy elixir. You know, the one that cures any status effect with the chemical combination of make-believe and total bullshit. Unfortunately, after injecting himself with the make-believe, he's having trouble with the total bullshit.
My hands. Dad, I can't feel my hands.
Press it into the ground. Roll over on it and press it into the ground, Katai.
Because Katai was paralyzed by the poison, he had to lie on the ground for a while the antitoxin took effect. Now that the sun is going down, he has to find a hotspot area because the planet literally freezes overnight, which makes any intelligent person wonder,
how the hell are there so many animals still alive?
Back at the ship, Cypher has done emergency operation on himself to his severed artery.
I tell you, that's Cypher rage. He can kill Ursula's with ease, detect asteroids in space, and perform complex surgeries while bleeding to death. Is there anything he can't do? Well, he can't walk on 2 broken legs, but he's only human, damn it!
Katai reaches the hotspot and does an equipment check and finds out that 2 of the magic liquids used for breathing are broken. Naturally, he lies to his father about this because... While he's waiting for the sun to come up, Katai asks his father how he first ghosted. His father tells him he was out alone when he was attacked by an Ursula. After shooting a pincer into Cypher's arm, the 2 go over a cliff into the river. Since the Ursula doesn't need to breathe, it tries to drown him at the bottom of the river when Cypher becomes distracted by his own blood mixing in with the sunlight in the water.
And I think, wow, that's really pretty. And everything slows down. I see his pincer through my shoulder, and I decide I don't want that in there anymore. So I pull it out, and he lets me go. And more than that, I can tell it can't find me. And it dawned on me, fear is not real.
Yes. Yes, it is. If it wasn't, people wouldn't give off the pheromones. The body wouldn't even have the ability to produce the pheromones, and the Ursulas wouldn't be able to kill anyone.
The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination.
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
Causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. That is near insanity, Katai.
How do you function?
Now, do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice.
No, it's not! God, it's like you just use words you hear randomly to try and sound smarter!
Katai makes it to some waterfalls, which is the halfway point to the tail end of the ship, but his father finds out he only has 2 magic liquids left, and the only way Katai can make it is to sky glide off the cliff, so he tells him to come back to the ship. We then get another flashback about how his sister died, because I know, like me, you all been wondering about that this whole time.
Wait, time out. You mean to tell me that the Ursula can't sense the kid's fear through that glass bubble? Then why the fuck don't they make fortresses out of that shit? Or tanks?
Fuck that! Why don't they build tanks, period? Why are they fighting hand to hand? If they can't smell your fear through glass, they're not gonna smell it through a fucking tank! Come on, man! That'd be like a lion versus an RV! Well, this lady... You really expect me to believe that in a universe where humans can construct ships capable of interstellar travel, can I build a fucking tank? Shit donuts! You don't even need a real tank! Just a metal box with 2 wheels and a spike on the end of it! It's not like they can see it coming!
There is logic in what he says.
This causes Katai to feel guilty, give his dad a hearty fuck you, and jump off the cliff. To get captured by a giant bird.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
The bird takes him to its nest to be food for his chicks when the nest is attacked by these weird lion-looking things.
No! Leave them alone!
Oh well, circle of life and all that.
Rather than using this opportunity to escape, he tries to save the chicks and fights off the lions.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck this is all about.
Although she lost all her chicks, because Katai tried to help, she, get this, starts stalking him.
Leave me alone!
Well, the movie's bound to get better now that it's become a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
You are my hero!
Taking the last vial of his magic liquid and building a raft to take him downstream, stupidly he falls asleep on the thing and has a vision of his sister.
Wake up. It's time for you to wake up.
She doesn't even attempt to do the accent.
Proving to be the smartest one in the cast.
She tells him he did the right thing by not coming out of that glass jar thingy to help her, freeing him of his guilt. Too bad he slept so long he's about to freeze to death. But he's saved by the giant stalking bird.
I was drinking Mike's Hard Lemonade at a barbecue when I saw a meteor hit a guy right in the... Let me guess. 3 years ago, you bet him that Jaden Smith would be in a movie where he would be saved by a giant bird trying to stalk him.
How do you know that? How did it change?
However, the bird doesn't make it, which doesn't make any sense, seeing how the movie clearly established that it builds its nest in a fucking tree, but at this point, who gives a fuck as long as the movie's over soon? Katai makes it to the tail end of the ship, getting some more magic liquid, a new communication device, since the bird damaged the last one, and the device needed to send out a distress beacon, but wouldn't you know it, he can't get a signal.
Well, that's Sprint for you. While on Earth, you're always going to have shitty service.
Because of ion interference, he can't ask his father what to do, so after throwing a temper tantrum, he decides to go to higher ground and try again. So, being the final act, this is when he runs into the Ursula.
Come on, you poor unfortunate soul! Go ahead! Make your choice!
And of course, just like his father, he's about to die, and in that moment, he loses all of his fear. The movie ends with Katai sending the beacon, the two getting rescued, and both of them deciding that they're better off working in a factory with Katai's mother.
But what about whales?
This movie sucks.
There are a lot of things that went wrong with this film, but let's focus on the two majors. The first thing being Jaden Smith not being ready to carry a movie by himself. It's funny how this film mirrors Jaden's position in this movie. It's about a kid who is forced into a position he's not ready to deal with, but is trying to make his dad proud, exactly like Jaden did taking this role. Does Jaden have the talent? Absolutely. There are times when it shows in this. But he needs more experience as a supporting character to know when, where, and how to apply those talents to make a career out of being a leading man. The second and biggest problem was letting Shyamalan anywhere near this thing. Although Will Smith wrote the story, it is abundantly clear what part was all Shyamalan's doing.
Let's just hope the Smith family learned their lesson, and when it comes to work-related things, they'll stay as far away from Shyamalan as possible.
It's coming! Here's one! Back to the face! Oh, that's all! Oh, that's all! Oh, that's all! Oh, that's all! All bets are off!
Is it over? There. You're now legal owner of the shop. Excuse me, I'm gonna go hang myself.
Better Shyamalan would make a movie worse than Happening.